to show how they groom these amoral demons. Break down their plan to bring down America.
Well, first of all, you know, the fifth principle you should appreciate more, and I should appreciate more, because of the assault that's been levied against you and the continual interruption of my broadcasts on talk radio, Alex, on shortwave, where I was for 2 decades. No one was ever taken off the air or taken off satellites more than you or I. Now, here's something that people have got to understand. For all the shills that attack Alex, for all the shills that attack me, ridicule is the man's most potent weapon. There is no defense. It's irrational. It's infuriating. It also works as a key pressure point to force the enemy into concessions. Would you say, Alex Jones, that you have experienced that at an accelerated pace in the last 3 months?
Yes.
Okay. Now, listen to this. A good tact is one your people enjoy. They'll keep doing it without urging and come back to do more. They're doing their thing, and we'll even suggest better ones. A tactic that drags on too long becomes a drag. Don't become old news. So all we're seeing is the radicals, the rules for radicals. And let me make this clear. From the beginning of, and I am on fire, from the beginning of the entire breakdown, takedown of this nation, and listen, people that want to focus on the Federal Reserve and all the other stuff that you and I covered 15, 20 years ago, get over that stuff. I'm not saying it isn't valid, but I'm saying they're doing it all before your eyes. And so when it comes to supporting InfoWars, I'm telling everybody I know, I'm saying turn it off on the mainstream news. Turn it off. It has nothing. And I'm saying this, you'll watch the mainstream media become mainstream accomplices to murder, because no matter who it is, you saw Time says, well, the real problem in America is all those armed patriots, those constitutionalists. They will never say it is jihad, and you and I have been laying who's behind the jihad. And one of the things that's really important, the people who control ISIS will also be the ones controlling martial law. And the purpose of the horror and all the beheadings and all the gory stuff that's gone on, all the videos on YouTube, is to frighten your opponent and get him to yield, and then they just come in and kill everybody. Well, I got news. They don't know about Texas, and I just posted a photo of my day. Montana's the same way, and it showed 3 like Western guys checking their pieces to go out, and I mean it's at a ghost town or called Nevada City, and they do reenactment. But I said it's time to check your pieces. There are people that are willing to stand up, but we have to do is expose these murderers, and we have to say it is murder. And I'm telling you this, watch this happen, ladies and gentlemen. Either de Blasio will quit or he's going to be dealt with. I'm not saying that I mean, you know, the thing is the guy should resign. When you lose your backing by the local police, and for the record, Alex, you probably saw a story, not one cop wants to be head of his security detail. Not one cop. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
And so now what we're seeing is we're seeing divide and conquer. And this is my chief warning. The greatest issue that I have faced in the last 5 years is try and get the vets to understand, the veterans, that they are the enemy. To try and get the average person to understand, look, I've been talking about the red list, the blue list, and the green list for years, okay? And the point is now, I think it's, who is it, Judicial Watch has filed suit to get Obama's enemies list. Did you see that?
Absolutely, and I've been told, it's been in major newspapers, that I'm on that list. But we certainly know who's on the list. It's who Media Matters attacks, run by the White House, and they've been caught actually trying to infiltrate and bring down alternative media.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's more important than ever. And Alex, I've said this. This is no flattery. I love InfoWars and I love Prison Planet. This is a prison planet. If they have their ways, you know, I remember talking about population reduction. I one time did a whole show, and I think I quoted, you know, close to 100 of the most famous people, Jacques Cousteau, all of the eugenicists, Margaret Sanger, you know, from the beginning. And ladies and gentlemen, how any thinking person, especially the black Americans, can even embrace the president and his policies. You've just got to understand what Margaret Sanger said about black people. And listen, there are are some amazing, and what I find interesting, Alex, the guys who are the most outspoken against the evil, and God bless every one of them, are basically people who are black athletes and black pastors standing their ground for Jesus. I put them up every time they come up. It doesn't matter if it's like Ben Carson, one of the most famous surgeons in the world, an amazing man. It doesn't matter. You talk about all these different people, but the problem is, and I think I heard just the tail end of the previous gentleman or a recording you had on talking about it's got to start at a community level. It has to start at an individual level, and everybody's saying, look, if I don't speak up, I don't want my granddaughter sold into an ISIS sex slave trade. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be disgusted, go on my website, Steve Quayle, QUAYLE.com, and look at the stories. Alex, this is not only reprehensible, it's egregious, but it goes right back to Zelensky. And if his whole premise, and you brought it up, is that they worship Lucifer as God, Hillary worships Lucifer as God, and yet it's kind of, if you will, it's a mental shock, a pair of cymbals smashing opposite sides of your head. You've got people that have denied God, the atheists, yet behind the scenes, they're secret Luciferian worshipers. And the end time is coming right into perspective. It's no longer in the indefinite future. It's now in the present. And the basis of all revolution is the overthrow of existing morality, existing national boundaries, and the globalists. Look, if you and I tell people 100 times they want 90% of the world's population dead, and real quick, back to Ebola, as of today, according to the World Health Organization, I believe they're cheating the numbers. I believe it's double what they admit have died. They're admitting 7,560 people dead. I believe it's closer to 50,000. Look at the race that it was generated against. When I spoke about bioweapons, Project Coast, I think maybe in those days you must have thought, boy, Quayle's on another planet. But the point is that I was interfacing in those days with people, and I couldn't know this stuff unless the people who were involved in it told me. And men of conscience right now are starting. It doesn't matter if they're former KGB, and believe it or not, there are Russian agents who care as much for what's going to happen to their people as British, as U.S., you name it. People know that they're all being played for suckers. That's why I even say to the gang members when I'm on radio, and I'll say it to those listening today, you're being played for suckers. When they're done with you, they kill you. That is their, if you will, their rules of revolution, and that's your fate. Don't go with what they tell you. It's a lie. And that's, Alex, what I believe the benefit of supporting InfoWars. I mean, I don't know, how many total videos have you produced?
Well, we're trying our best here, Steve. All I see is it's converging, and it's got to be a wake-up call. When the president says he'll implement a UN treaty to restrict gun ownership, even if Congress doesn't pass it, he'll put our troops under NATO UN control without congressional approval. He'll open the borders up without congressional approval. And Congress doesn't even repeal Obamacare. It doesn't even try to stop Obama because of the Republican leadership. It shows the fix is in. But what's going to happen as the grassroots wakes up and starts replacing them with more Tea Party people? I mean, what is the establishment planning to do? I believe it will be a false flag to demonize the liberty movement. What about the FBI's latest report? It's in USA Today. It's linked up on Infowars.com. And it says FBI links Ferguson anarchists to ISIS. Sovereign citizens also linked to Islamic terror. So that's basically a Tea Party type group. They think we're so dumb that, as you know, in the new Army training manuals, they say they're preparing for the Tea Party to join ISIS. I mean, Tea Party is, to use a media term, the most Islamophobic group out there. How do they think they're going to make this pig fly?
Well, first of all, they're going to set up some throwaways. They're going to basically set an identity up, or multiple identities. The shooters or the assassins will basically do the killing, and they'll take the picture of their fake Tea Party member. And I agree with you, Alex. There is no continuity of thought between ISIS and the Tea Party. But remember, what happens is this. They'll set up their stooges, whether they have MK Ultra, dual identity, assassins and then suicide themselves. The point is they'll have everything stoked. They'll have fake backgrounds. They'll put Twitter and Facebook postings, and don't think they can't do that and backdate them. And then they'll have their apartment littered with, whoever, Ron Paul stickers and everything else, you, me, whoever, all the books. And yet, at the same time, the people that are being set up had better scream at the top of their lungs. They better use the courts that still exist to file RICO suits, Racketeering and Influence Corrupt Officials Act. Because, again, the point, I say the point is, Alex, we can wake up all the people, but there comes a point when it's too late, okay? And so I'm telling this, I say this to men and women of wealth. You need to get behind, and I couldn't be more serious in this. I have, let's see, I think I got 4 grandkids, Alex, okay? I got 5 kids and 4 grandkids. And when I read that story on my website today, I physically wanted to puke. And if this doesn't infuriate, I'll use that word because I don't want to use a P word because too many people get upset, that infuriates me to such an extent to think that never would any of us 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, think that our grandchildren, our children, if you've got young children, could be sold into sex trafficking. And if people think that's crazy, Syria was one country before all the revolution. These devils, D-E-V-I-L-S, Luciferian globalist slime, take their orders from the Prince of Darkness. And I'll be blunt, the Bible says he comes to kill, to rob, and destroy. So people had better recognize, you may be old, you may be having a will, a living trust, any one of these documents, but why don't you stand up and help the people?
Oh, I know, it's incredible. I've met billionaires that know about all this, and they do nothing to stop it. And I mean, I know somebody that is friends with one of the Walmart heirs worth $40 billion. She lives out in West Texas. She lives in a farmhouse, just drives her car around, and she knows about all this stuff, but just doesn't care. Just, it's...
This hour brought to you by InfidelBodyArmor.com. When it hits the fan, don't be left without the body armor that will save your life. With prices starting at just $374.99 and ships free. Get yours at InfidelBodyArmor.com. Just won't quit.
Hi, Ted Anderson with Midas Resources. Is it time to convert paper 401ks and IRAs to solid gold and silver yet? Get our 10 Reasons book free. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
Hey, Boomer! I learned in school today that 60% of our bodies are made of water. Good thing we have the Berkey system. It's the cleanest, best water ever. Mom says it's because the Berkey's filtration system cleans out the bad stuff and leaves only pure, delicious water. I know, right? You love it too. Yeah, I'm thirsty too. Let's go get some. Get Berkey clean water by calling 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Or visit GoBerkey.com.
The CDC just announced flu vaccines may have the wrong strain of flu virus. You may not be protected. Whatever your lifestyle, your immune system is critical, and Immudyne provides your immune support. Doctor recommended, stimulant-free, and not found in pharmacies. Go to Immudyne.com to find out more or to place an order. Or call 866-257-8668. That's IMMUDYNE.com or 866-257-8668. Remember, Immudyne is key support for your immune system.
Digestive health is key to wellness, and Pro-EM1 is the key to digestive health. Pro-EM1 is a daily liquid probiotic that improves food absorption and supports weight loss by removing toxins from your system. Recommended by doctors, Pro-EM1 is 100% natural, organic, non-GMO, wheat, soy, gluten, and dairy-free. Call us today at 888-611-8025 or visit ProEM1.com to save over $25 on your order. That's 888-611-8025 or PROEM1.com.
What good is a Big Berkey water filter?
We get that question a lot here at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. And in a word, the answer is protection. Protection from water main breaks, E. coli contamination, environmental chemical spills, pesticide runoff, chlorine taste and smell, and all forms of fluoride. Plus, Big Berkey water filters are the original gravity water filter system and most trusted on the market for a reason. Tested by multiple independent NSF EPA certified labs, they are the gold standard in water purification. At only 1.7 cents a gallon, a single set of filters filters can last for 5 to 10 years. That means big savings. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify